Okay. So again, I am Mrs. Rice. This is Integrated Math 3. If you think you're in the wrong place, let me know either in the chat. You could email me or your counselor if you're not sure. Just ask and we'll figure it out. So first thing we're going to do is go over the syllabus. I'm hoping that you guys got a chance to look it over. If not, no big deal. I'm going to go over it, but I would just want to highlight some parts of it. So let me pull that up. Okay, so here's the syllabus. Most of you should have already had the Google Classroom added. I know one or two of you, I had to send the link to it. Required materials, so you're going to need a graph paper notebook or composition book. Personally, I think it's easier if you use a notebook rather than just loose paper. If that's what you have to use, that's fine, but it does need to be graph paper. Graphs have to be done on graph paper, and we're going to be doing a lot of those. Pencils, your work should be done in pencil, not pen. A graphing calculator is highly recommended. You can get by without one, but it will be easier. And if you're going to go on to pre-calculus and take your SATs, then you're going to need a graphing calculator for those things. Some kind of grading pen or highlighter. Colored pencils I think will be helpful, but you could again probably get by without them. You do need some kind of ruler or protractor, something that you can use as a straight edge for when you do need to make your graph. And then obviously your Chromebook or laptop. So grading for this class, the math department decided to change it since it's since we're all online, at least for now. Half of your grade is going to be your individual tests and quizzes, and then half will be your assignments. So assignments are weighted a lot more heavily. It used to be 80% test and 20% assignments, but since that's where we're going to be spending most of our time, that's where we decided to do. Tests will be approximately every unit. There are no retakes. Quizzes, we're still deciding what we're going to do and how often, but they will most likely be happening, but they'll be worth less, and I'll let you know. I don't plan on just like surprising you with a quiz at any point right now. Academic integrity, so cheating, that's really important if you are caught cheating, and that includes on your homework. You will get a referral, and the vice principal will contact you. So this part I put in red. It's easy and tempting to take a passive approach to your education. I highly encourage you to keep your own work, make it unique and identifiable by highlighting, underlining, and making use of color. Don't give a teacher any reason to suspect that your work is not your own and only your own. Collaboration is encouraged. I highly recommend you ask for help, work together if you can. It improves the quality of your work and your learning. However, when you copy it, the quality declines. And I will post these solutions to your assignments. So it's very tempting and easy to copy all of your assignments down, but that's not going to help your learning in the long run. So they're there to use as a tool and a resource. Sometimes there are mistakes in them. A different teacher made them and I've been using them. If there's a mistake and it's an easy mistake, it's not something I expect to be on your paper. So again, use those as a tool, and please don't just copy them all down. And same thing with assessments. If you're caught cheating on an assessment, you will get a 0, which will hurt your grade a lot more than a 0 on a single homework assignment. As far as assignments, so the assignments will typically have 2 parts, classwork and homework. So classwork we will typically do together, and then homework will be on your own time. They're both worth 5 points separately, so 10 points for each assignment. You should check your assignments for correctness and revise if necessary. If you need homework help, you can email me the problems. I can, depending on timing, do them live during our Zoom. I can make a video and just post it to the Google Classroom for you guys to watch on your own time. With that being said, you should check your email daily, as I plan to do the same and respond within 48 hours. Let's see. So the way assignments will work in here, I will post them on typically Monday mornings. That's my plan. And then they'll be due the following Monday for the whole week. So you have daily homework. I highly recommend you do it daily, especially because our lessons, since we're live, some of them will be building every day, but they're not due until the following Monday. So in case you do get behind, you have a little bit of a cushion there. But I don't recommend waiting until Sunday night to do all of them. You will submit your work in Google Classroom as either a Google Doc or Google Slides. You're not going to turn in 10 pictures in Google Classroom. You can upload your pictures to your Google Doc or your slides. Make sure your pictures are clear, good lighting, upright, so I can actually read them. If you are absent, so your parents are still supposed to call the office and let them know, and that's how I know you have an excused absence. You get the extra day. Late work, so anything that is late is worth 60% of its original point value until the end of the grading period. So if it's normally 10 points and you turn it in late, you're going to only get 6 points on that assignment. And you only have until the end of the grading period. So that includes the 3-week progress report grades. So you can't turn everything in December. After like I'll try to remind you guys when the progress report grading periods are coming off. That's your cutoff for late work for those 3 weeks. Anything after that will stay missing a 0, unless of course you have extreme circumstances, then just reach out to me and we can work together. So be respectful, be present, try to shut out other distractions. I know it's easy to have your phone right there and to text your friends while you're listening to me or do whatever you're doing, but try to shut those out. Be prepared, be self-disciplined. That's going to be hard, I think, for a lot of us, myself included. And then be diligent, put 100% of yourself into learning, even if it takes multiple attempts. Down below are the BHS vision and mission statements and the expected student learning results for you to read over. Just be aware, times are changing, things in here might change. I plan on being flexible. I hope you guys can be as well. If you have questions on any of that, just let me know. Again, you can type them in the chat or reach out to me via email or just interrupt me now. And please do that while we're doing our lessons. If there's something that doesn't make sense, stop me. The learning this semester is going to be a lot different than it was in the spring. You're expected to be here every day. We're gonna start at 10. I anticipate the instruction most days taking about 30 minutes. Maybe it'll take longer. I plan on us being online from 10 to 11. Let me say that. 30 to 45 minutes probably to do our lesson, answer questions, and then you'll have some work time to where if you're struggling with something, you can ask then. There are days it might go over, so kind of make yourself available and maybe schedule this time until 11:20 every day, and that's when you can start your homework too. So it's going to be different for all of us. It's a lot more like school, but here. Tests will be online somehow. We're doing different formats. The cheating last semester was out of control, so we're trying to find ways to battle that because we know how easy it is for students to cheat. Not saying everyone cheats, but there was a lot more cheating than normal. A lot of students, I think, just using photo math to get the answers. So we're trying to come up with something to make it more accountable. I don't know if it'll be Google Forms. We might do some stuff on CUDA Works. There might be some stuff where I send you problems and you have to like explain your thought process rather than just showing the steps that you can get from Photomath or some other app. So hopefully there will be some variation in tests, but as we create them, we are coming up with new ideas, hopefully. Okay, with that being said, I need you guys to try to log into your ebook. So you're gonna go to the webpage cpm.ebook or ebooks.cpm.org, sorry. There is an enrollment code from your syllabus. You should be using your school email. I don't remember honestly if you do like create account or sign in with Google, but your enrollment pin for your ebook is 2DJMB. So ebooks.cpm.org. I'll type it in the chat so you don't have to go back and forth. That's the website, and then your pin is 2DJMB. If you're having problems getting the book, please let me know. That's where we're going to be working out of, and your homework is out of there. So if you're not able to access the book, you're not going to be able to do everything. Okay, it looks like most of you already have it. So there's about 23 of you in there. And then also, let me go to the classroom. You're going to, if you have not already, want to set up that KudaWorks account. I'll just give you a few minutes to do that now. I know a few of you did, and KudaWorks is new to me. Let me see. So go to your Google Classroom, and then that first post I made, it should be up at the top now. There's a link for KudaWorks, also as well as the course key. Some of you have a request to join the course, and then some of you, it says your account was created. I don't know the difference. Just so you guys know, I don't know what it looks like on the student end. There's a website if it's easier to click on from here rather than going to Google Classroom. And then I'll copy the pin over as well. You're not going to need that until Thursday. So hopefully it might say like no assignments. I'm not exactly sure, like I said, how it looks from the student side. But I have to refresh and then I can. Yeah, so when you do the sign up, make sure you hit the course key in that first box. And then I put in Google Classroom. So here you have the option to use your personal email or your school email. If you use your school email, I don't know how often it sends you reports and updates, but I don't think you'll get them. And if you get locked out of your account or forget your password, you have to contact me to reset it. And it's not a huge deal. but your school email is what hopefully you'll be checking. Maybe you check both of your emails, maybe they go directly to your phone. I don't know. It doesn't really matter which one you use. Just know that all the emails won't come through if you're using your school email. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so again, I don't know why. And I asked another teacher and they didn't have the answer either. So I might look into it. About 12 or 15 of you are registered, and then there's like 10 of you that says are creating an account. Again, I don't know the difference. I will try to find out. Oh, creating an account, it says you've started the process but have not clicked on the email confirmation link. So you do need to get that email confirmation link to fully complete your account. And again, not a big deal. Make sure you do that, get that going. We'll use that on Thursday. Wednesday, I plan on double checking who does and doesn't have it. Okay, so let me go ahead and get back to the book so we can get started on our math. If you have a graphing calculator, you'll want to get it out, and if not, you can use Desmos. Again, if you're going to do things like SATs and everything, I recommend getting comfortable with your graphing calculator. That way, when it comes time, you know how to use it. Okay, so and if you're waiting on KudaWorks for me to accept it, I'll refresh it and do it every so often. I just did the last handful of you that were there, and then I'll do it after class again as well. But again, if you're having other issues like with your ebook or with creating your account, type it in here or email me. It doesn't matter. Okay. So you're going to need, this is where you're going to need to get your notebook out so we can get started. You'll do your classwork and homework kind of just all together, and then just wherever you finish, you can just start the next assignment there. So right here, so on 112, it says, recall that the domain of a function is a set of all possible inputs and the range is all possible outputs. In this problem, we're going to reverse our thinking to create a graph with the given domain and the range. So on A, it's sketch a function that has a domain of all real numbers between and including -3 and 10, written as -3 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 10, and a range of all real numbers between and including -4 and 6. You can see how that's written there. We don't have to write an equation for our function, so they want us to be creative. So let's see if I can get it. Okay, so I wrote this so far. I just kind of wrote down what it says it was. So the domain is -3 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 10, and the range is -4 to 6. We're just going to set up some axes. Let's see. I'm just going to scale these. So I'll make this -5, -10. So I'll do every 2 boxes is 5. You can set yours up a little bit differently. It doesn't matter. you can count by ones. It probably would have been easier, but I didn't set my graph up big enough for that. Okay, so everything is included from -3 to 10 for our x direction, and then y is -4 to 6. So we can be creative, it can be simple. So if we think -3 is about here for x and -4 is about there. So if that's the point, -3, -4, we could just have it go all the way to 10, 6 here. We could do something as simple as a straight line. Everything in between -3 and 10 for the x direction is included. And in the y direction from -4 to 6, everything is included. I'm gonna do, so this is where colored pencils or colored pens might be handy. You can just do different colored like style lines. You can draw another graph. I could have started at the top at -3, 6 and ended down here at 10, -4. So I should be using a straight edge. So again, either of those would work. I don't want to put too many on one graph. But you could also do something more creative. You could start here at -3, 0. It could go up, and it could be curved, it could be straight. You could go up to right here at 0, 6. And then if you wanted, you could just kind of even do like some sort of parabola. Doesn't matter, as long as at some point it got down here. Let's say this is 6, -4, and then it could end right here at 10, 0. So again, that one kind of has a lot going on. I tried to do something a little bit different. You may have remembered from last year, piecewise functions. That's what this one would be. And again, if you want to just make these straight lines, it's just showing you that all three of these graphs, so the colors might be kind of hard to see. I apologize. I tried to do them different. All three of these meet these conditions from -3 to 10 and -4 to 6. Basically, they have to stay like inside this box here. For part B, the domain is -infinity to infinity. And sometimes that'll be written like with a capital R with 2 lines there. And then the range is y equals 2, 4, 5, and 8. Okay. So were any of those negative? Nope. Okay. So here I decided to count by ones. My x-axis, it doesn't matter. I can do the same thing. So again, this is just reviewing domain and range. Your domain is all real numbers. So domain, remember, is left and right. That means this needs to go left and right forever. It has to have arrows. Your range, y is equal to 2, 4, 5, and 8. Nothing in between, not 3, not 2.5. So this one would look a little bit different in the sense, so it has to be equal to 2. So it's going to be almost, the most common here would be more like a step graph, but it doesn't have to be an equal step since these don't count equally. And we could always start wherever we wanted. If we started here at 2, let's say I start here, it has to go left forever. The domain goes left and right forever. The directions also said it has to be a function. So a function means every input only has one output. So say I want to go up to 8 next. This would have to be an open circle here at -4, 8. Because it can only be one of those values. You can make it go for as short or long as you would like. If I close my circle, so I have a 2 is in my range and 8 is in my range. So I still need 4 and 5 in my range. So I could go to 5 and make a shorter line or longer, it doesn't matter. And I also need 4 and it has to go forever. So as long as it goes forever, left and right with the arrows, it will meet that. And the condition for our domain, and then our range 2, 4, 5, and 8 has 2, 4, 5, and 8 as part of it. Nothing in between. I couldn't put anything at 3 or 6 or 7 or halfway on any of those. All right. So for problem number 13. So use your graphing calculator or Desmos to learn about one or more of the following functions. So number 1 here is y equals 2. We're not doing all of these, by the way, so don't feel overwhelmed by looking at it. Times the square root of 9 minus x, which is all inside the square root, and a -4 outside. And then, so it tells you, it gives you some tasks down here. 5 integer inputs that give you integer values out as outputs. That means no decimals. So like if we plugged in the number 1 here, 9 minus 1 in my square root, I'd have the square root of 8, and that's a decimal. So that wouldn't meet this first one. Make a table and complete graph. Fully describe your graph. So it gives us all of these things that we want to identify. So I'm going to kind of list those on my paper ahead of time so I don't have to come back. So shape, line of symmetry, so again, in your notebook, copy all of those down. Opens, and then I'm going to leave it blank and not write up or down. I'm going to write that in as we see it. Asymptotes. Increasing or decreasing. X-intercept and Y-intercept. Domain and range. Endpoints. Maximum or minimum points. That's going to be if there's a highest or a lowest point. Continuous or discrete. So we may remember that. You learned that, I think, back in like chapter 1 of Math 1. Continuous means you don't pick up your pencil at all. And discrete is that it's points that aren't connected. And then, is it a function? So I'll give you a few more seconds to copy those down, and you can also fill them in as we go. Um, okay, so I'm gonna, if I click on the e-tool in the book, sorry, I'm trying to get my Zoom open the right way again. Okay. Can you guys see the ebook now, or the graph? Hopefully. So by clicking on it through the ebook, it gives you all that information again. And these circles over here in Desmos allow you to turn the graph on and off. So this is the one we're starting at. And it will also allow you to turn it into a table if you want to do that. So let me go back. Can you guys see my paper now? Yes, no, maybe?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. And then we're gonna copy our graph down, leave some space to make your table. Again, that was all of the stuff that the book listed for us. So on Desmos, it's nice because you can click on these points. I'm not sure why it's not staying, but at 9, -4, so that's where we need our graph to go to at least. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I should have made mine longer. There's 10. So 9, -4 is one of our points down there. I'm just gonna kind of put a table in here. 9, -4, because it said integer values. We have a point here at 5, 0. And we can kind of fill in this stuff on our paper as we go. So based on looking at the graph, we saw that it was continuous. This was a minimum point here. So our minimum point is at 9, -4. which is also an endpoint. Our endpoint was that same point because the graph kind of starts there. We can come back to domain and range. We see an x-intercept at 5, 0. And then let me go back to the graph and we can kind of fill more in. Our y-intercept is here at 2. So 0, 2 is our y-intercept. So again, it's not requiring too much thinking other than you being familiar with what these terms are. To turn it into a table on Desmos, if you hit this little gear at the top, then you can hit this button that says convert to table, and it puts it into a table for you. And so you can kind of keep looking for points that are integers. So 8 is at -2. My table is not in order, that's okay. And then we have to go back the other way, -3, -4. So -7 is at 4. And when you do that, it kind of puts all these little points on there for you. And then you can connect your points. And it should have an arrow. If you go to the graph and zoom out, you'll see that it's just going on forever and it's continuing to go up forever. So with that being said, there's none for our asymptotes. So remember an asymptote, and we'll review these a little bit later in the week, that's does it approach some kind of line, get infinitely close to it and doesn't quite reach it. So for your shape, you could kind of describe this however you want. You could say curved, it's not linear. We don't know the name of this graph yet, so curved would just be fine for now. Line of symmetry, remember is there something that where I can cut this in half and it's the same on both sides, like with reflection symmetry. So there is no line of symmetry here. This opens down, kind of in terms of like a parabola, the concavity would be that way. Increasing or decreasing. So increasing and decreasing, that's as you go left to right. So as I go left to right, like I'm reading a book, my graph is going down. So this is decreasing. Again, you're asking yourself, as I go from left to right, what's happening? And then domain and range. So domain is all the x values. It goes to the left forever. And then it stops here at 9. So you have two ways to write this. You could write this as -infinity is less than x is less than or equal to 9. Or you don't even have to write the -infinity part. You could just write x is less than or equal to 9 because it's everything from 9 to the left of 9. These mean the exact same thing. And then range, you always go from bottom to top. So your lowest number is 4. And then it's going up forever because that arrow, it's continuing to go up. So 4 to infinity. We put the or equal to with the 4. We don't really put it with the infinity. It doesn't make much of a difference. You never quite reach infinity. That's why math teachers don't typically write the or equal to. The other way to write this is y is greater than or equal to -4. So it's all numbers -4 and above for my range. And then is this a function? Yes. Okay, so with that, we're going to take some quick notes on functions. They'll be very brief. And then we'll see kind of where we are on our time. I'll leave that there. So, and this is being recorded, so if you came in late or if I went too fast, I will end up uploading it so that you can see it and watch it later. All right, so functions. Kind of the definition in our own words is each input has a unique output. So we'll do some examples of functions on the left, and on the right, we'll do some examples of non-functions. And hopefully this is coming back to you. I know we've had a lot of time off. So let's see. So just, you know, like a parabola, that's a function. Any parabola will always be a function as long as it's just your normal parabola. If you have points listed in a table, so like -1, -9, 0, 4, 1, 1, 2, 0, 3, 1. That's a function. Each inputs are x, so each x has a unique output. So -1, 0, 1, 1, 2. So -1, 5, 0, 9, negative, or 1, -3, 1, 7, 2, -4. So this is not a function. The reason being here, let's kind of circle those 2 points. When x is 1, I have 2 different outputs. So again, each input, each x has to have a unique output. So this wouldn't be a function. And then another non-function is a circle. So circles are not functions. This table and this graph are different. This table is not supposed to be these points. Same thing over here. But circles are never going to be functions. Again, each input, so like here when x is 0, I have 2 different outputs. So like these points right here, you may have remembered something being called a vertical line test, and this would fail that. And then we just went over this, but I didn't necessarily write it down. Remember, domain is the possible x values. or the inputs. And then the range is the possible y values or the outputs. Okay, so I'll leave that up for a few more seconds. So what I am going to ask that you do, so there's a couple things. For problem number 12, not 12, I'm sorry, 13, you need to go in and pick one more of those and try to describe it the best you can. Again, if you use Desmos, click on, so let me go back to it. So if you use Desmos to figure out what one you want, you click on, I want that one to go away. So I'm just gonna end up deleting that one. Or click right here, that'll turn it off if you have it as a table. So pick any one of these. It doesn't matter which one. And then kind of go through all of the attributes again and see if you are able to describe them. The solutions will be posted online, so if you don't come up with all of them, that's fine. If you want to stay on here and do it right now and ask me questions, you can share your screen with me, you can email it to me, whatever works. But pick one more of these, and that'll be to finish up your classwork. So again, click on one, turn it on, copy the graph down, try to kind of go through those attributes. And then you'll end up checking it so that you kind of see where you're getting stuck, what ones you made mistakes on. And if you have no clue, like I said, leave it blank. That's okay. I'd rather see what you don't know than think that you already know it and you just copy it down. Because if I think you already know it and you just copy it down, then I'm not going to take any time to review those things. So I think it's really going to be important this semester to be honest about what you do and don't know. Honest with yourself and honest with me. And that way we can be more successful. So pick one more of these. Maybe you already started. Also, your homework. So your homework kind of has two parts tonight. You have the book work, which is problems 16 to 19, 21, and 25. And like I said, just do them right under, maybe title it homework and list them right under your notes. There's no reason to kind of start a new piece of paper unless you're at the bottom of the page. But you also, and that's not due until Monday, next Monday with all of your book work, but you also have a handwriting sample that is due tomorrow. It has you write like your alphabet, some numbers, copy a sentence down. So that assignment again is due tomorrow. So maybe it shouldn't take more than I think 5 minutes. So the things you're doing right now, you have 3 things. You're gonna do one more of these graphs, just one more. You have 7 to choose from, pick any one of those 7 that you want. You have your book work for your homework, and then you have your handwriting sample. Are there any questions? Again, you can type them in the chat to everyone. You can type them to me directly. If you have no questions, so again, you're working on this last graph, you can stay on here now and do it. You can log off now if I've kind of answered all of your questions and you know what you need to do. Oh, last thing, sorry. Just a reminder, this Friday you are doing a diagnostic test. It's kind of like a placement test. It doesn't mean if you do poorly, we're going to move you out of this class. We're going to take it 1 or 2 more times this semester and look for growth. But just kind of a heads up, I'm not trying to throw some like surprise quiz at you. It's to see where you are right now. We know there's going to be more gaps than normal because of the 4th quarter online learning. Everyone did it differently. So that's just, I'll remind you 1 or 2 more times this week what's coming Friday. Friday, we're not live, so you do it on your own time, but you are still expected to be a student all day. You do have your access class at 8:30 in the morning, and then your day to do your classes beyond that, depending on what your teacher is asking. So we won't be live. You can do that online assessment anytime Friday, and I'll post directions as it gets closer. So what you're doing now, so I'll type it, choose one more graph from 1-13 to homework from the book is 1-16 to 19, 21, and 25, and then 3 is your, sorry, I put caps lock on, handwriting sample, which is due tomorrow at 10 a.m. Before class, so you may just want to try to get that one done first. All right, so there are the 3 things that you have to do, hopefully before I see you tomorrow. So again, your homework from the book is not due tomorrow, but I highly recommend doing it tonight. Like I said, if you have questions, you can bring them either tomorrow. I think on Wednesday during class, I have time to go over homework questions, especially because most of us are probably on summer brains right now, and it will hopefully be coming back to us. So again, if you want to go now, bye. I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. If you want to stay here and ask questions, you're welcome to stay.